Welcome to Brewed Tales of History. Find your spot by the flickering lamp and let the darkness of a literary legend settle over your cup. Tonight, we dare to open the final, most baffling chapter in the life of Edgar Allan Poe, the mystery of his death and the terrifying truth hidden within his lost final manuscript. Poe was the master of the macabre, the inventor of the detective story, and the prophet of modern horror. His works, The Raven, The Telltale Heart, were not just fiction. They were brilliant dissections of the madness, dread, and paranoia that lurked beneath the genteel surface of 19th century society. Yet, for all his genius, Poe's own life became the ultimate Gothic tale. Our story begins in October 1849 in the gloomy city of Baltimore. Poe had vanished while traveling from Richmond to Philadelphia. 5 days later, he was found delirious, wandering near a public house that was being used as a polling place for an election. He was wearing clothes that were not his own ill-fitting, cheap garments, completely unlike his usual immaculate black suit. He could not explain how he got there, where he had been, or why he was wearing those clothes. For 4 days in the hospital, Poe drifted in and out of consciousness, calling out the name Reynolds to no one in particular. On October 7th, he died, and the official cause of death was vaguely listed as congestion of the brain. But what truly killed the master of the morbid? The circumstances were too strange, too perfectly crafted to be accidental. This is where the rumor of the lost manuscript takes center stage. According to a few scattered and unreliable whispers that survived that decade, Poe was said to be carrying a final, completed piece of work on his person when he left Richmond. Not a collection of essays, but a final, terrifying narrative, a reflection on his life, his demons, and his understanding of the universe's most horrific truths. This manuscript, critics claim, was his magnum opus, a work that would have revealed a universal flaw in the human condition. But when he was found, the manuscript was gone, vanished along with the clothing he was wearing when he left Richmond. The true content of that lost work is the source of all speculation. Was it simply misplaced, or did the manuscript itself contain the key to his own undoing? We look first to the simplest theories. His public struggles with alcoholism were well known, and a relapse could account for his state of delirium. However, the doctor who treated him noted that Poe showed none of the physical signs of severe alcohol withdrawal. Others point to political enemies. Poe had a long history of making powerful enemies in the literary world, and a confrontation could have led to foul play. But the most disturbing theory, the one that would have made for a perfect Poe story, is the possibility of cooping. In 19th century Baltimore, gangs would kidnap unassuming individuals, ply them with drugs and alcohol, change their clothes, and force them to vote multiple times at various polling places under false names. The strange clothes, the delirium, the location near a polling place, they all fit the pattern perfectly. If true, Poe, the great chronicler of madness, was murdered by the most mundane of political schemes. Yet, we cannot dismiss the narrative contained within the missing pages. What if the lost manuscript was not about politics or crime, but about the very nature of existence, a terrifying truth about the afterlife, or the lack thereof? Perhaps the final secret Poe carried was not a political debt, but a cosmic realization too horrifying for him or for us to bear. Was he running from the secret or with it, until the reality of his own fiction finally caught up? The mystery of Poe's final days remains unsolved. We are left with fragments, a lost manuscript, a name called out to the void, and a brilliant life extinguished in the gloom. The greatest tragedy is that the one man who could have written the definitive explanation for his own demise was silenced before he could share the final chapter. Tell us in the comments, what do you believe the final lost manuscript of Edgar Allan Poe reveals? It is in the echoes of these unsolved literary riddles that we find our enduring fascination with the dark side of genius, and it is our duty to examine the shadows and inconsistencies in every story we are told. Keep questioning everything.